Hey y'all, I'm back with this week's movie review, and this week I'm reviewing The Glass Castle. I figured because I had to technically read the book for one of my psych classes, and I was like, let's do a little comparison, because a lot of people, they're just like, oh, obviously the book's better, but then, the non-book readers are like, well, I like the movie, so meh. So I'm gonna do, a little review, and then I'll talk about the comparisons later. The pros of the movie were, I thought the actors were really good. They weren't, big-name actors, but they were still fulfilled the roles, and they still acted the characters out the way that I wanted them to. Granted, in my mind, I had, visuals different than, the real people actors, but I still thought they casted very well, and the actors played their roles, to a very good extent, and, the directors did really good on that. Another pro with this movie is that it was emotional. Reading the book, there was some distance because obviously it's a book, but when you watch it and you see real life people going through the scenarios that Jeanette had to go through, you get really tied in emotionally. Which leads me to my next point was it's really deep because this is her life story. The Glass Castle is based on, Jeanette's real life. She went through all these things. And granted, there might be some things that were twisted to make it more entertaining, especially in the movie-wise. But this is her real-life story. So, you got down on that deep level when you could see the, reactions of the faces of the characters, and you could see, the scenarios playing out versus just, reading it on a page and, forming it in your own mind. But there were also some cons to this movie. I expected, the way the book describes a lot of the scenes and the scenery and stuff like that Jeanette went through, I expected some of the most beautiful scenes, that there could have been. And I thought they could have done a better job at that. I also wanted more beautiful, but I also wanted some more kind of ugly scenes because the book made it sound like some of the things that she went through were just disgusting. And, I expected there to be that contrast of these beautiful sceneries, but then other situations that there's, this ugliness because, life, it has both. Life has beauty and life has ugliness. I also feel like it could have followed the book more, especially towards the end. In the book, it kind of, when she moved, all of the kids moved to New York, it didn't really she didn't have this, soul-searching moment of just, what am I doing with my life? It just kind of, carried out, her parents moved to New York, too, and, they kind of solved things out, and then her dad, died, and, Thanksgiving, and all was, pretty much happy in the end. But the movie kind of made you reflect on the watchers. It kind of made you question yourself, and it made Jeanette seem like she was questioning herself if was she truly happy now that she had money and she wasn't living in a shack with no electricity or running water. So I feel like that kind of was off-putting because I liked how the book ended, and I liked how the movie ended too, but I just thought they were just too different. Do I want more kind of The Glass Castle? Sure. I like when movies are, made from books and stuff like that, but there's always those cons you have to watch out for. You will have people who will say it's not exactly how the book was, you messed this up. I mean, look at the Harry Potter series, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? He said quietly, but that's none of my business. So you will have those people who will nitpick. So I want more the series this book was because, it was different. It wasn't romance. It was a true life story, and it was kind of relatable to some and, eye-opening to others. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we have Brandon with the box office top 5, and later we have Tiffany and Nayland with this week's hottest celebrity news. Don't miss it.